Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So today on this video I'm going to be officially giving you an update on some current transfer news that's currently going on, and obviously there's lots of other things to talk about of course as well. So reports now are coming out about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course the Crystal Palace right back. Reportedly he is wanted by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course as well, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants about 3 or 4 players to come to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well, because he's still obviously in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, of course, because obviously we didn't spend out in January, and obviously we didn't spend much last summer, of course, as well. So we know that signings are needed this summer, of course, as well. So I think he's identified, the areas Ole Gunnar Solskjaer where he thinks Manchester United, of course, do need to strengthen up. So potentially we do need a fullback. I think he's keen on adding, adding depth in that midfield as well. But I think his priority is obviously, to recommend a right winner to come to Manchester United this summer as well. Obviously, our priority, was to strengthen that central defensive area, of course, last summer. But recent reports have actually suggested out that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not interested in buying any defenders. Reportedly, and he's focusing on other areas of the squad as well. But I think he's identified his top 3 targets as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, is a prime target for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So reports are coming out saying that Manchester United are preparing to put a £35 million bid in for Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, as well. He is only very, very young, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He is only, 21 years of age, of course, well. But I think Manchester United have identified him, as a perfect successor, to Antonio Valencia, of course, as well. Because obviously we know that Valencia is on his way out of Manchester United this summer after we opted against that decision, to give him that new 1-year contract term extension, of course, as well. So he's on his way out of Manchester United this summer, is Antonio Valencia, and obviously he is 33 years of age now, of course, as well. So I think we can identify Aaron Wan-Bissaka as a perfect successor to Antonio Valencia. And I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, is a Crystal Palace player. I think he has got the ability and he has got the defensive capabilities to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, as well as this player. Obviously, as well, we've got Ashley Young, who's obviously, 33 years of age now, of course, as well. And obviously, by the time his 1-year contract term, 1-year contract extension expires, he'll be nearly 35 years of age, of course, well. So we do need an upgrade, to Valencia and Ashley Young, of course. And reportedly, Manchester United have targeted Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, well. And I think he's initially valued at around £40 million. Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He is only very, very young, as we all know as well. Obviously, so far, spent the entirety of his playing career with Crystal Palace, of course, well. Risen up their youth system, all that, for a lot of years, of course, as well. But he's only been in the senior team with Crystal Palace, I think, just over the year, because he broke into the senior team last year in February, of course, as well. I think he's made about 34 appearances for Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So reportedly, Manchester United have expressed a strong interest in him as well. But we do expect, quite a few players, to leave Manchester United this summer. There is still some contract renewals to sort out as well. But Man United are reportedly preparing to put a £35 million bid in for Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I think he actually joined Crystal Palace's youth system at like the age of 11 or something like that. But reportedly, his performances have been very, very good for Crystal Palace, indeed, of course, as well. So I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United to that next level, and I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, as well. So potentially he is a Manchester United target, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified, his top 3 targets. I think he did say, he's told Ed Woodward, that he does want Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He also wants West Ham's Declan Rice, and he also wants Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. And they're all upcoming futures, of course. They're all British as well, as we all know. So he's told Ed Woodward that's the top 3 players he currently wants as well. And Manchester United, of course, are linked with Declan Rice, as we all know as well. That West Ham player is only 20 years of age. Is Declan Rice. He's got a contract with West Ham till 2024. He can play as a centre back, but I think he can. I think he's mainly a holding midfield. And as I did say, Solskjaer is keen on adding depth in our midfield, because I do think we need a centre defensive midfielder. That's fast and quick. To be quite honest with you as well. Because obviously Fellaini left in January. Obviously, the Nemanja Matic, since he's recovered from injury, his performances have been very, very poor, and he's looked very, very ineffective in that midfield, to be quite honest with you, as Nemanja Matic. Overall, his performances have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I especially think that I have got really, really strong reservations about Nemanja Matic, of course, as well. So I think potentially we do need to get a couple of players in midfield, especially if Ander Herrera is to leave the club, of course, as well. But Declan Rice, he's only 20 years of age. He's under contract with West Ham till 2024. Reportedly, he's had a good season with West Ham this season. season as well as Declan Rice. So potentially he's a Manchester United target as well. But we do know the club's number one priority target is obviously, Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, of course, well, and Manchester United have been heavily linked to him. Reports do say it could cost Manchester United a nine-figure sum of around £100 million, to get Jadon Sancho. But I did say we need someone young and ambitious on that right-hand side. We need someone that can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box as well. And Jadon Sancho, is capable of doing this. I think Manchester United still believe we can land him for around £80 million. Only broke into the England first team last year as well, but he is still an upcoming future, Jadon Sancho. He's just turned, 19 years of age, of course, as well. He's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years. His performances in Germany have been absolutely fantastic indeed, of Jadon Sancho's, of course, as well. He's obviously a former Manchester City player, of course, as well. And Borussia Dortmund, have been known, for doing business with their players, of course, well. But there's been a narrative going on about it now for the last 4 or 5 weeks, that Manchester United have been heavily linked with him, of course, well. But Solskjaer's tracking, he's monitoring and interested in quite a few young players, which is ideal, to be quite honest with you, because obviously we've got quite a lot of experienced players. They do seem to be the ones, that are causing us the problems, of course, as well. So it would be ideal, to recommend, some young players, to come to Manchester United, of course, as well. So Man United are heavily linked with Jadon Sancho. If we were to get him, it'd make him our most expensive signing, obviously making the most expensive English footballer ever, of course. But his performances have been good. I'm not too sure about his defensive capabilities, but he shows that ability to attack. He can score goals. He can put crosses into the box as well. Can Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho. I think he's attracted interest from quite a few teams across Europe. I think PSG have also been interested in Jadon Sancho as well. But Borussia Dortmund only paid around £8 million for Jadon Sancho, of course, as well, from Manchester City a couple of years back. And at that point, I think Manchester United, of course, were linked with him as well. But Manchester United could still end up paying up to £100 million for Jadon Sancho as well. But obviously, it's essential that we get Champions League football for next season. If we do want to get players, to the highest quality, of course, as well, it's essential that we get Champions League football for next season. So in that aspect, it makes us have more of a competitive summer transfer window. But I think in the summer, Manchester United need at least around 4 players. Of course, I think Solskjaer's going to get around £200 million to spend this summer. But we have got a board that can invest, who Solskjaer, wants to bring to Manchester United, of course, as well. But Jadon Sancho still remains under contract at the moment with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, as we all know, as well. But he's got a few targets, on his radar as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I did currently say, he's the right man for Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt. Indeed, we've had a good 3 months or so under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Mainly the results have been good, mainly the performances have been good as well. Obviously, Manchester United, of course, are still looking to hire a director of football to come in. So obviously, we want to change the club structure, of course, as well. But it is essential that we get the right recruitment this summer, of course. But it's good that Solskjaer's already making plans for the summer. He's emphasising his targets as well. And Solskjaer's been in regular, contact, with Ed Woodward, what players should come in and, what players, should leave Manchester United this summer as well. But as I did currently say, guys, players are going to leave Manchester United this summer, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed, as I said. Obviously, I think Valencia is definitely on his way out. So obviously, we do want a young and ambitious right-back, of course. Obviously, I think Darmian as well is on his way out of the club as well after he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. Possibly Herrera could be leaving Manchester United as well, because Herrera, to be quite fair, I think his performances have mainly improved, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. He's been playing more regularly in the team. He's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well, as Ander Herrera, to be quite honest. He didn't perform well yesterday, but I think overall his performances have really, really improved, to be quite honest. But there has been speculation that he could reportedly, leave Manchester United this summer, Ander Herrera, of course, as well. And this is his 5th season at Manchester United. He has had a lot, during his tenure so far at Manchester United, he has had some rough patches, but since Solskjaer's come in, he has really, really improved. But we still know that he's better midfielders out there than Ander Herrera, of course, as well. I think his future is up in the air at the moment with Manchester United. Manchester United, still have been in, negotiations to try to convince him to sign a new contract at the club as well. But I still think he's a good ball-playing midfielder. Mainly he breaks up the play very, very well. He's attracted interest from PSG, as we all know. It did say PSG were willing to offer him £150,000 a week, plus a 3-year deal, of course, as well. And PSG, obviously, looking for someone, to partner alongside Marco Verratti. And obviously, they identify Ander Herrera as a good replacement for Adrien Rabiot, because it's likely Adrien Rabiot's going to leave PSG at the end of this season, when his contract expires, because obviously he's been withdrawn from the PSG squad as Adrien Rabiot, as we all know as well. So Ander Herrera could possibly be on his way out of Manchester United this summer as well. Sanchez is definitely on his way out of Manchester United as well. That's another player who I think's on his way out of Manchester United. He's obviously out at the moment with a knee injury. Obviously, when he has been given the opportunity, he's looks so restricted. It just looks so he hasn't been getting that freedom, and he hasn't fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system. As Sanchez, he's lacked goals and all that. His performances have been below par. Of course, as well of Alexis Sanchez. So it just shows, it emphasises how ineffective Alexis Sanchez has been. We know it's going to be hard to find a buyer for him this summer, considering his substantial wages. He's currently on Alexis Sanchez, but Manchester United, may consider loaning him out or something like that, unless Sanchez is willing to take some kind of wage cut. I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you as well. But Man United are considering, getting rid of him in the summer. He's enjoyed a difficult time at Man United. He's not playing to the highest level anymore. He's 30 years of age now. He has lost that yard of pace, of course, as well. So I think he's on his way out of Manchester United this summer. So we could see maybe 4 or 5 players, leave Manchester United, of course, this summer as well. So it is essential, that we do get the right players to Manchester United, of course, this summer as well. And as I've been speaking with you in relation to Paul Pogba, of course, as well. Obviously, reports have been coming out, after he put a bad performance in against Watford yesterday. The reports coming out saying that Solskjaer is looking, to change Paul Pogba's role reportedly. And I think Solskjaer is intending on putting Paul Pogba in more of a defensive role, to be quite honest with you as well. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to see another side of Paul Pogba's game, after he didn't hit the heights yesterday against Watford, to be quite honest, because our midfield looked totally overrun yesterday against Watford, of course, as well. But mainly, Paul Pogba's performances have been really, really good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's been one of our most influential players, and I think he performs better, when he's in a free role and, when he's getting that freedom to express himself, because he provides good service to the front men, does Paul Pogba and all that, and he does play them delicate passes through, as we all know, does Paul Pogba. But I think reports are saying now, obviously, Solskjaer, reflected on the game yesterday against Watford, of course, and he feels as though that he wants to change Paul Pogba's role, and he's intending that he's considering a tactical swift for Paul Pogba, and that could actually cost us, going into the Barcelona game, because we do know that Barcelona is coming up, of course, as well. So I think he's intending on playing Paul Pogba in more of a defensive role, to be quite honest with you as well. So that's what reports are currently saying. But Paul Pogba could be Real Madrid and all that, saying it's a dream to play for them. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world and all that. This basically, Paul Pogba said and all that, and he said, I think he's intending, on going to Real Madrid this summer. This could have concern, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. But reports have been coming out from Spain saying that reportedly Paul Pogba, it's been revealed he's made a decision on his future, and reportedly he wants to make the move to Real Madrid this summer. So I think he's pushing for the move to Real Madrid, of course, as well. Zinedine Zidane's come out, admitting that he does like Paul Pogba a lot. He admires the player, and he suggested out, that Paul Pogba, could make a move to the Santiago Bernabeu, of course, as well this summer. Reports are coming out saying that Real Madrid are preparing to put a bidding of around £125 million for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. In the process, Paul Pogba's still got over 2 years remaining on his contract, because he's still on the contract with Manchester United till 2021. Meeting reports did say that he's turned down a contract offer from Manchester United, of course, as well. But I think of what he said of Real Madrid, he's not intending, to spend the rest of his playing career in England, of course, as well. So potentially, I think Man United are reluctant, to let him go. There has been talks that he could potentially, make a return back to Italy, and go to Juventus. Where he did have 4 great years, before he came to Manchester United. And obviously, Manchester United, of course, paid around £89 million for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. Obviously, our most expensive signing. But he did say reportedly if Paul Pogba is to go to Real Madrid, reportedly he's demanding an annual wage of around 14 million. This would potentially, make him the highest paid player at Real Madrid. So obviously, he's demanding a significant pay rise, of course, is Paul Pogba as well. But obviously, we know Paul Pogba probably would have left by now, of course, if Jose Mourinho was still in charge, because obviously Paul Pogba had a bad relationship, of course, with Jose Mourinho as well. So there has been a lot of talk, going on about it. And his agent Raiola, of course, his agent Raiola has had a couple of conversations with Real Madrid, according to the Spanish press, over Paul Pogba's desire, to swap Old Trafford, for the Bernabeu, of course, as well. So his agent Raiola, I think, is in the process still of finding, Paul Pogba a new club, of course, as well. So there has been a lot of talk, about that going on. But what he said about Real Madrid, this could be this could have concerns for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So could he possibly, leave Manchester United in the summer as well? So definitely, players are going to depart Manchester United this summer. Obviously, there's been other targets, that Manchester United have been interesting, but the top 3 targets, is obviously, been Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka, Declan Rice, and Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. But other targets, that Manchester United have also, been interested in as well. We still know that obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi, is a Manchester United target, and it did actually say, Manchester United have showed an interest in Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Again, only very, very young. He's also British as well. He's only 18 years of age as Callum Hudson-Odoi. And there has been reports coming out saying that, obviously, Chelsea don't want to lose, Callum Hudson-Odoi, of course, because obviously Chelsea have got a transfer ban. They can't do any transfer activity, for the next couple of windows. Chelsea, I think, are ready to offer him a new contract with around £100,000 a week, to convince him, to stay at Chelsea, of course, as well. It's also said that Liverpool have expressed an interest in him. It says Liverpool have held negotiations with Callum Hudson-Odoi's agent reportedly as well. But I think he's seeking that he wants first team football week in, week out, and he hasn't really been getting this at Chelsea. He's yet to start a Premier League game for Chelsea this season as well, Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's still under contract with Chelsea, though, until 2020, as we all know as well. He's mainly a winner, but he can actually operate as a forward as well. But I think teams are set to go for him this summer. I think Chelsea, if they are willing to negotiate, I think they're asking that they want around £43 million for Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. But obviously it was Bayern Munich's top priority, back in the January transfer window, as we all know. Bayern Munich, of course, were heavily linked, with Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Bayern Munich are probably set to revive their interest in him, in the summer, of course, as well, Callum Hudson-Odoi. But Bayern Munich, I think, had a host of bids, turned down for Callum Hudson-Odoi back in January. Bayern Munich willing to offer him the number 10 shirt, of course, as well. But I think he still feels as though that he does want to leave Chelsea, does Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. But Manchester United have showed an interest in the player as well, and he's an upcoming, he's one of England's youngest upcoming prospects as well. He's Callum Hudson-Odoi. But Chelsea are in the process of trying to convince him, to sign a new contract, of course, as well. So his name has also been mentioned in the media. His name's also been mentioned in the media as well. But there's other targets, that Manchester United, have been interested in as well, as we all know. We still know that reports are coming out about Philippe Coutinho, as we all know as well. But I don't think he's actually a Manchester United priority, because recent reports did say that Manchester United, were not interested in signing Philippe Coutinho, to be quite honest with you as well. Reports have been coming out saying that reportedly he's told his teammates that reportedly he's strongly considering leaving Barcelona this summer. He said Chelsea have expressed an interest in Coutinho. But reportedly he has been linked to a move to Old Trafford as Philippe Coutinho. There was a narrative going on about this back in January, that Man United had negotiations with Coutinho's representative, regarding a summer move, regarding a move to Old Trafford. Philippe Coutinho's enjoyed a very, very difficult time in Spain with Barcelona. He's been there about 14 months now, I think nearly 15 months, and he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time. He hasn't lived up to expectation levels. He hasn't fitted under Barcelona's system, to be quite honest with you. And obviously he's failed to replicate the form, that he did at Liverpool, because he did have 5 great years at Liverpool, if I'm going to be quite honest with him as well. I think he's still got a long contract with Barcelona as Philippe Coutinho, of course, as well. I still think he'd cost in the region of around 90 or maybe £100 million, of course, this summer. But obviously, Barcelona are not going to recoup the initial £142 million they paid for him from Liverpool in January of last year, of course, as well. And he's been very, very poor indeed for Barcelona. And this is why there's been speculation of him possibly leaving Barcelona, of course, this summer as well. But reportedly, there's still rumours going on and all that. He did say a while back that he's spoken to some Manchester United players regarding move to Old Trafford and all this, and he's keen on a return to the Premier League, of course, as well. So there is still reports, going on about that, and the rumours do continue to persist about Philippe Coutinho. Of course, he's mainly an attacking mid, but he actually can operate as a winner as well. But I think Solskjaer's keen on adding depth in that midfield, especially if Ander Herrera is to depart. I do think we need a centre defensive midfielder, of course, that's fast and tenacious, as we all know, because for me, Matic is too slow. But yeah, so there's still been reports, going on about Philippe Coutinho. And, central defensively, we're all aware that Manchester United, of course, need a centre-back. We need a centre-back. We need a world-class centre-back. We need an experienced centre-back, of course, and we need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof. Recent reports have said that Solskjaer is obviously, it's not his priorities to get a central defender in, because obviously recent reports said he's not too interested in buying any defenders. He's focusing on other areas of the squad, like getting a right-back in, getting a right winger in, adding depth in the midfield, of course, as well. But obviously, we do know that we need a central defender, because actually we've improved defensively since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, but we do need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof. And obviously we know Koulibaly, Manchester United have been long admirers of him, but I think our summer pursuit of Koulibaly now anywhere could be in jeopardy. According to what Ancelotti said, Ancelotti insists that Koulibaly will not leave. He insists that Koulibaly is currently not for sale, of course. Well, even though Manchester United have been long admirers of Koulibaly, we had 3 bids turned down for him in January. Of course, we were heavily linked with him last summer, of course, course, as well. But in the process, we didn't come to an agreement of getting a Koulibaly, of course, as well. He's been at Napoli a number of years now. We know he's 27 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him, and he is a world-class centre-back, and he's still got a contract with Napoli till 2023, as we all know. Napoli paid £7 million to him from Genk back in 2014, so I think this is now his 5th season in Italy now with Napoli. But recent reports did say, Manchester United have been informed that we would have to pay up to £130 million if we did get any chances of getting a Koulibaly from Napoli this summer. Of course, well, this would obviously make him the most expensive defender in world football. Obviously, make him our most expensive signing as well, and he would be a great leader in our backline. To be quite honest with you as well. But we did have 3 bids turned down for him in January. The recent one was £95 million, but I think now Napoli have insisted that he's currently not for sale, of course, as well. But Manchester United have been long admirers of the player as well. Other defenders Manchester United have been interested in, of course, as well. Harry Maguire's name has been mentioned, the Leicester centre-back, as we all know as well. Harry Maguire has been giving you an update on him as well. Recent reports did reveal that Leicester reportedly up to their price tag, and reportedly Leicester want around £98 million for Harry Maguire this summer if Leicester are willing to do any business with him, of course. And he was talking about a while back, about, his... He was talking a while back, about maybe, going to a team that's capable of winning trophies, challenging for trophies, playing to the highest level. Of course, well, he's British as well. He's only 26 years. I think he's 26 years of age as Harry Maguire, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Manchester United are capable of doubling his wages and that as well. But reportedly, Manchester United, will have to break our transfer record if we do want to get the pursuit of Harry Maguire this summer, of course, as well. So he has been a Manchester United target. Of course, we was linked with Harry Maguire last summer as well. And he has been at Leicester a couple of seasons now, as we all know as well. I think he was initially valued at around, was it 65, 75 million pounds, but recent reports did say Leicester demanding that they want around 90 million pounds. He's got a contract with Leicester till 2023, of course, as the player as well. I think when he was back at Hull City, when he was younger, Manchester United had also expressed an interest in Harry Maguire as well. But his name has also been mentioned in the media as well. So Manchester United, we've got quite a few targets on our radar, to be quite honest with you. But I think the top 3 targets is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Declan Rice, and Jadon Sancho, of course. But as I did say, Solskjaer the right man for Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt. And hopefully it does work out. Obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's expectation levels is obviously get us back up there, challenging and winning trophies, of course, as well. So they're obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's expectation levels in this 3 years or so, of course, as well. And Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United. He knows the club inside out. Of course, from he's a cheap alternative. He's a cheap alternative to Mauricio Pochettino and Zinedine Zidane, of course, as well. And that's what Ed Woodward's going to. That's what from Ed Woodward's point of view, that's the way Ed Woodward is going to look at it as well. He's a cheap alternative. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's a great player for 11 years. Don't forget him as well at Manchester United, as we all know as well. Great player he was for 11 years. Won a lot of trophies, scored a lot of goals, of course, as well. And obviously, he managed the Manchester United reserve team. Don't forget. So this team now, this day and age, you watch them grow and develop, of course, as well. We do know Solskjaer hasn't got a great managerial pedigree in terms of winning any major honours and all that, but I think he can elevate Manchester United forward. If he can get the right players in the summer, which is very essential indeed. And we've done really well considering the amount of injuries that Manchester United have had and all that as well. But obviously, since Ferguson retired, we do know a lot of money's been invested to Manchester United, of course, as well. A lot of money has been invested. We've spent about £600-700 million, something like that. We've had different managers, with different philosophies. Players have come in, players have gone as well. But now Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager, of course, as well, since Alex Ferguson retired as well. So he's going to get around £200 million to spend this summer. I think that's going to be enough as well. But we've got to get our priority targets this summer, of course, as well. And as I did say, I think going into the Wolves game on Tuesday night, of course, as well, obviously this is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 2nd game as permanent boss, of course, as well. I think changes are needed in the Manchester United team, for Tuesday night against Wolves as well, because, it was a very bad performance, against Watford, as we all know as well. It was a very disappointing performance against Watford, even though, we did get the victory, of course. There was a lot of bad individual performances, I thought it was really bad. Ashley Young was absolutely terrible. I think he lost the possession like 20 times. I read a stat up about that. Ashley Young lost the possession about 20 times, of course. Well, I thought Luke Shaw had a good game. Smalling, I think, had a decent game, but I thought our midfield looked totally ineffective. I thought Matic was really poor. So I think Matic needs to be dropped against Wolves, to be quite honest, because I've got strong reservations about him. He's too slow. Paul Pogba wasn't playing. I think he's got his mindset on Real Madrid, to be quite honest with you. Herrera didn't have a good game either. He was very inconsistent against Watford as well. But I think there was a lot of bad individual performances, to be quite honest, because Watford actually, totally controlled the game. If I'm, going to be honest with you, they had a lot of chances in the game. But as I did say, I just think the difference in the game was the finishing in the final third. When we got our opportunities, we took our opportunities, and Watford didn't take their opportunities. But Watford had a lot of chances in that game. David De Gea had to make some kind of saves, but there wasn't any world class saves he really had to make in the game as well. But I thought it was a very, very bad performance in Manchester United. I thought there wasn't enough determination in the midfield. I didn't think there was enough tempo. I just thought we looked very, very lethargic indeed. I thought it was too slow going into tackles, of course, as well. Solskjaer did make 4 changes, of course, as well. But the most thing is we got the win, and obviously it keeps our top 4 ambitions alive. And I think Manchester United could possibly finish in the top 3. As I did say, like Solskjaer thinks, if Manchester United can at least get 15 points out of these 7 games that are remaining, I do think we can, finish in the top 3, of course, well. But I think changes are definitely, needed against Wolves, without a shadow of a doubt indeed. I'd probably drop Ashley Young, and I'd bring Diego Dalot into contention, to be quite honest with you. Probably Lindelof will be, be available to play against Wolves, of course, because obviously Lindelof didn't play against Watford, and mainly has been going with Lindelof and Smalling, so it would probably be Lindelof and Smalling centre-back partnership against Wolves as well. I'd drop Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest with you, and I'd probably maybe give Scott McTominay a chance, because, when Manchester United when we did have that injury crisis, of course, especially in the midfield, and obviously then Solskjaer give chances to the fringe players, that he give chances to the likes of Andres Pereira and Scott McTominay. I thought they were very, very impressive indeed, to be quite honest with you, so I probably would give Scott McTominay the opportunity, and I'd probably, drop Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest with you. Hopefully, Lukaku can be in contention, to play against Wolves on Tuesday night as well, because Lukaku didn't play against Watford, and most recently, he's regained his form fantastically well. Obviously, just recovered from an ankle injury, as we all know, as well as Romelu Lukaku, I think. But he didn't play against Watford, and he's looked very, very good alongside Marcus Rashford. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, as Romelu Lukaku, to be quite honest, he's looked very, very good alongside Marcus Rashford, and they've been a fantastic partnership. To be quite honest with you, and Lukaku looks very, very effective. When he's getting that support up front. To be quite honest with you, as well. But I do really, really like Romelu Lukaku. If I'm going to be quite honest, he's still got a really, really good pedigree in the Premier League. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. We do know he's slow, and his first touch, does concern me, of course, as well. So hopefully he will be available, to play on Tuesday night against Wolves, of course, as well. So I do really, really like, Romelu Lukaku, and hopefully he can be available on Tuesday night, as we all know, as well. And I think Matic has been really, really poor since he's recovered from that injury. I think he's been very, very slow in that midfield. He's been very, very ineffective indeed. So I think he needs to be dropped against Wolves on Tuesday night, in my opinion, as well. And obviously we've got news on Anthony Martial, of course, as well. I think Solskjaer confirmed he has sustained an injury as Anthony Martial. Hopefully it's not too severe. I think we don't know the extent of the problem, of course. Well, obviously, more things will update. I think Martial has suffered some kind of knock or something like that as well. So some reports are saying, Sky Sports said that it could be a doubt for Tuesday against Wolves as well, could Anthony Martial. So hopefully, his injury that he sustained is not too severe, because it's not too long ago he just recently, had a groin injury as well, Anthony Martial, as we all know, as well. So yeah, that's mainly everything to update today. So potentially, Manchester United are preparing to put in a £35 million bid in for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I do think Manchester United see him as a perfect successor, to Antonio Valencia, of course, because Valencia's been a long-serving player here, of course, and he's on his way out of Manchester United this summer, as we all know, as well. And Solskjaer's keen on bringing it right back into Manchester United, as we all know, as well. He's keen on bringing it right back into Manchester United, and I think it'd be a good upgrade to Antonio Valencia. And I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho, the trio, they're all young, they're all British as well, and I think they've got the ability to elevate Manchester United forward, to be quite honest with you, as well. But yeah, we've identified, quite a few targets, we're interested in, of course, as well. But I think Solskjaer definitely the right man for Manchester United. Hopefully, we can perform better against Wolves on Tuesday night. Preview probably will be coming up for that either later on today, or it will be tomorrow sometime as well. But as I did say, some changes do need to be made against Wolves. Drop Ashley Young, put Diego Dalot at right back. Obviously Lindelof should be, back again, into contention against Wolves on Tuesday. I'd probably drop Nemanja Matic, and I'd give Scott McTominay or Andres Pereira the opportunity, to be quite honest with you. And obviously, as well, Lukaku should be back into contention to play against Wolves, of course, as well. And I don't know what's happening with Martial. I think he's sustained kind of an injury, as I've just said. I think it's a knock injury, but hopefully he can participate on Tuesday night against Wolves, of course, as well. So you'll probably, if Solskjaer will probably make about 3 or 4 changes, for the game on Tuesday night, of course, as well. But very, very disappointing, performance against Watford. But, it was good to see Rashford get his name on the score sheet. It was good to see, Martial get his name on the score sheet as well. And, so the good news is in relation to Rashford, Man United are on the verge of getting him a new contract, which is very, very good indeed, which I'm very, very impressed with. Obviously now Solskjaer has been appointed full-time manager. Obviously Rashford wants to commit his long-term future at Manchester United, of course, and his finishing's really, really improved, and he's growing, developing and flourishing in this team fantastically well, and he's playing a key role under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well as Marcus Rashford. He's been a United player since the age of 7, he's progressing up the ranks fantastically well indeed. But I don't think he's been his potential best since he's recovered from that ankle injury, but obviously we still know he can be like lightning, he can get them runs in behind, of course, as well, and I want to see Rashford and Lukaku as a partnership on Tuesday night, of course, as well. So we'll see what happens as well. Obviously, more things are going to update, as I said. But as I said, since Nemanja Matic has recovered from injury, I think he's been very, very inconsistent indeed, to be quite honest with you. And I still think we need a centre defensive mid that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well. Ander Herrera was, I think, since he's actually recovered from injury, he hasn't been his potential best, of course, as well. But yeah, there's obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to address the midfield issues, of course. This is why now he's obviously recommending, to change Paul Pogba's role, of course, and I think he's willing to put him in more of a defensive role, of course. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to see, of course, another side of Paul Pogba's game, of course, as well. So as I did say, drop your comments, likes, ball on the channel, guys. If you do, consider subscribe to my channel, as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll